Section 1, The Gained Rock. The stories of Sinbad were based on the experience of sailor from Iraq. This story tells about his amazing adventures with strange animals. I planned after my first voyage to spend the rest of my days off at Baghdad, but it was not long before one grew weary of quiet life. My desire to trade and travel was revived. I bought goods suited to the commerce and set sail. We traded from Iceland to Iceland and in exchanged commodities with great profit. One day we landed on an island covered with several sorts of fruit tree, but so uninhabited that we could see neither man nor beast upon it. We went to take a little fresh air in the meadows and along the streets that watered them, while some bushed Thames leaves with gathering flowers and other with gathering fruits. I took my provisions and sat down by a stream between two trees which formed a curious shape. I had a very good meal and afterwards fall asleep. I cannot tell how long I slept, but when I awoke, the ship was gone. I was very surprised to find the ship gone. I got up, looked about, and at last perceived the ship under sail, but such a distance that lost sight of her in very little time. I was melancholic that I was ready to die, and with grief I cried out, suddenly beat my head and breast and threw myself down upon the ground, where I lay sometimes in a terrible agony. At last I recognized myself to my fate, and not knowing what to do, I climbed up to the top of a great tree, from whence I looked about on all sides to see if there was anything that could give me hope. When I looked towards the sea, I could see nothing but sky and water. But looking towards and land, I saw something white and coming down from the tree. I took up what provisions I had left and went towards it. The distance began to so great that I could not distinguish what it was. When I come nearer, I thought it to be a white bowl of a prodigious height and brightness. And when I come up to it, touched it, and found it to be a very smooth. I went round to see if it was upon on my any side, but so it was not, and that there was no climbing up to the top of it. It was so smooth. It was at least 50 pieces round. By this time the sun was ready to set, and all of sudden the sky become as dark as if it had been covered with a thick cloud. I was astonished at this sudden darkness, but much more when I found it was the shadow of bird of a monstrous size that come flying towards me. I remembered a foul colored rock that I had often heard mariners speak of. At once I realized that a great bowl which I so much admired was its eggs. In short, the bird lighted and shut over the eggs to hatch it. As I previewed her coming, I crept close to the egg. When the bird landed, one of the leg of the bird, which was as big as the trunk of trees, was very close to me. I tried myself strongly to win to it with my turban in the hope that when the rock flow fly away next morning she would carry with her out of this desert island. And after having passed the night in the conditions, the bird really flew away the next morning. As soon as it was a day, and cried me so height that I could not see the earth. Then she decided all of students with so much rapidly that I lost my sense. But then the rock settled and I found myself upon the ground. I speedily utilized and the note. I had scarcely done so when the bird, having taken up a serpent of a monstrous length in her bill, flew away. The palace where she left me was a very deep valley surrounded on all sides with mountains so high that they she made to reach above the clouds, and so full of steep rock that there was no possibility of getting out of the valley. This was a new precisely because when I compared this palace with the desert island from which the rock brought me, I found that I had gained nothing by the change. As I walked through this valley, I noticed it was a street with diamonds, some of the which were of a surprising bright beginning. I took a great deal of pleasure in looking at them, but very soon I could not look at them without terror. There were a great number of separate, so big and so long that the least of them was capable of swallowing an elephant. There they retire in the day time to their dens where they hid themselves from the rock, their enemy, and come out only in the night time. I spent the day walking about the valley. When night come on, went into the cave, and I thought I might be in a safety. I stopped at the mouth of it, which was low and straight, with a great stone to preserve me from the surface, but that wall would not hide a light from coming in. I supported on part of my previsions, but the separate serpents which began hissing about in the meantime put me into such extreme fear that you may easily imagine. I did not sleep when day appreciate the serpents retire, and I come of a cave trembling. I can justly say that I walked a long time upon diamonds when feelings inclinations to touch and any of them at last sat down in wireless because not shut my eyes during the night, and soon I fell asleep. I had just shut my eyes when some things that fell by me with great noise awakened me. This was a great pieces of fresh meat, and at the same time I saw several others down from the rocks in different palaces. I had always thought it was a fable when I heard Mendes talk of the valley of diamond and of the tricks used by some merchants to get jewels from there. But now I found to be true that merchants come to this valley when the eagles had young ones, and throw great joints of meat into the valley. When these pieces of meat fell upon the diamonds, they stuck to them. The eagles, which are stronger in this country than anywhere else, pounced with great force upon these pieces of meat and carried them to their upon to top of the rocks and to feed their young. It was her. The merchants went running to their nest, fragrance the eggless by their nose, and took away the diamonds that were stuck to meat. I believe till then it was not possible for me to get out of this abyss, but the falling in of those pieces of meat put me in hopes of a way of saving my life. I began to gather the largest diamond that could see and put them into the leather bag in which I used to carry my provisions. I afterwards look at that, and largest pieces of meat I could find. Tied it close round me with the cloth of my turban, and when then laid myself upon the ground with my face downward. I had scarcely laid down before the eggless come. Each of them seized a pieces of meat, and one of them took me up to its nest on the top of the mountain. There the merchants began shouting to fragment to the eagles. When the eagles had flown away, on one of them come to the next. When the eagles had flown away, one of them came to the next where I was. He was at first afraid when he saw me, but soon, instead of inquiring how I come there, began to quarrel with me and asked why I stole his good. Treat me, replied with more clarity, before I have a diamonds enough for you to myself too soon. Other merchants come dropping about us. They were much astonished to see me, but they were much more surprised when I told my story. I spent the night with the merchants. I thought I was in dream. I could not believe myself to be out of danger. The merchant had thrown their pieces of meat into the valley of several days of each of them. Then being satisfied with the diamonds that had fallen to his lot, we left the palace next morning together and travelled near high mountains where there is largest serpents, which we had the good fortune to escape. We took sleep at the near largest serpents, which we had the good fortune to escape. We took ship at the nearest port and come to the isle of Roha, where the trees that yield camphor grow. This is so large and its branches so thick that 100 men may easily sit under its shade. There is in the Iceland the rain horses, a creature slain than the elephant, but greater the buffalo. It has a horn upon its nose about a cubit long. This horn is soiled and in the middle from one end to the other, and there are upon in white lines represent the finger of man. The rhinoceros fights where the elephant runs his horn into him, carries him off upon his head, but the blood of elephant running into the eyes, his eyes, making him blind. He falls to the ground, and then strange to relate, the rocks come, carries them both away in her claws to be food for her young ones. Here I exchange some of my diamonds for good merchandise. Therefrom I want to Baghdad. There I immediately gave great alms to the poor and lived honorably on the vast riches I had gained with so much fatigue. I recalled a story from